Hello, extraordinary human beings. How is everyone doing today? Are you having a good weekend? I hope so. I really hope so. And we are going to do a WIP N Chat. First things first, though, thank you to my subs, my true blue subs who keep coming back, against all odds, no matter what I'm doing. You guys just keep showing up, and I just love you for that, like ways I can't tell you. And all my new subs, thank you so very much for choosing to sub into my channel. I really appreciate it. Thanks to all of you. I'm over the 500 mark. Yay! So that is a wonderful, wonderful thing. Thank you so much. That was a personal goal of mine, and I feel so good that it's finally happened, and I just can't tell you. So today, and I will tell you, I'm making a lot of progress on Lightweaver, which is the canvas that I've been doing for Diamond Crafts by Eileen's event for April Wings and Things, and also on the beautiful colorful dragon that I've been working on, and that one has been such fun. And on this one, which is the canvas that I'm doing for April for Diamonds by Tita's Blissful in Blue. Today we're going to be working over here in this section, and then I will officially be halfway, and I don't know, I might finish it by the end of the month, or if not, I'll be darn close. So, okay. But I just wanted to mention something, and I'll go into more detail when I do the post review and completion on this one. I substituted 4 different drills for AB drills, and it's fine. And I was glad to do it, and I looked it over, and I like the shimmer that it really gives this canvas to have those in. But I thought as I was working on it, I probably should mention this because I don't think I did when I was talking about substituting ABs in. When you're going to substitute ABs, when you pick the colors that you want to put your ABs in for, be careful that, if you're going to do 3 or 4 colors, don't put all of the colors that you're substituting right next to each other. In other words, like in this flower, I substituted out the blue color for an AB. Okay, and that worked out fine because it gave it just enough, oomph. However, it would not have been good if I had also substituted out the pink, the purple, the red, or the yellow. It would have been too much, because unless you're going to bling the whole canvas, you don't want big blotches of bling. You want to kind of spread it out. Now, I did do one of the aqua colors and one of the blues in the dragon, and also I substituted in 5200 white ABs for the 3756 color that was going to be in here, because it was in enough places. It's going to be in the moon too, which I'm really looking forward to. It was in enough places where that I wanted it to be, that I knew it would be fine. But again, if I had decided, okay, I'm going to do every shade of pink in here, I'm going to do it all in ABs. Okay, that might have been overkill. So sometimes less is more. And so don't just pick the colors you like. You pick the ones that are going to be strategically enough to make your canvas really pop out and make everyone say, wow, okay? I think you'll be happier. You can bling the whole thing out. It's your canvas, do whatever you want. But if you're looking to just make, a couple of strategic areas that are going to make this canvas unforgettable, then just make sure that when you're deciding which colors to offset, that you make sure that you look at the legend and see, if you're going to substitute out one of the letters, where is that letter throughout the entire thing, and is it next to 2 more that you want to switch out? If so, then you might want to look at switching out something that's on the other side of the canvas, or at the top or the bottom, or something where you have a little more control over it and it's not all packaged in one spot. Because if it's too concentrated, then what's going to happen to the rest of your canvas? When you have this, you have a pile of bling and then you don't. So yeah, just something to think about, because the best way to determine which ones to do is to plan it out before you start. That's the easiest way. Now, that doesn't mean you can't get halfway through and go, oh, this is not what I wanted, and change it. I mean, you absolutely can. Again, your canvas, knock yourself out. But if you want to make it easier on yourself, then I would really suggest, you know, giving it a look-see and kind of plotting it out in your mind before you lay the drills, because that's when it's the easiest to do. So, all right, but I'll tell you, I have enjoyed this canvas. I know a lot of you commented on it when I unboxed it a couple of months back, and this was in an Amazon unboxing. And yeah, I've been looking for an excuse because I've been wanting to do this one. So Blissful and Blue was a perfect one to do. So yeah, I'm really excited. Now I could have saved it for, you know, next year, the event that I'm doing it next November in 2025, the Bella Luna event, because yeah, it has a moon. I could have done it then, but I was impatient because I just really wanted to work on this one. So anyway, I'm going to turn this, actually, all right, don't get seasick on me, guys. I'm going to turn the canvas like a little bit and bring you over a smidgen, and then bring this over because I'm going to be working over here on this section, and then I can bring you down in a little bit so you know you can kind of see what we're doing and where we're going with it. And then we are going to talk about some stuff. Not the least of which is we're doing a contest, you guys. Yes, we are. Since you guys were instrumental in helping me get to 500 subs, 2 of you are going to win a prize from me. Now, obviously it's going to be diamond painting related. So here's how that's going to work, okay? So, yeah, okay, let's bring you down here just a smidge. Let's see how we can, is that gonna work? Pretty close, okay. I think you guys can see me. If you guys are uncomfortable or this is difficult to view, you need to let me know and I'll see what I can do about it. Okay, so first things first. Yes, 500, thanks to all of you. I can't tell you guys how excited I am about that. I really, really am. So what we're gonna do is at the end of this video, I am going to show you my diamond paintings. Now, I keep my budget-friendly diamond paintings right now because my house is in a state of flux. I am keeping my budget-friendly in tote bags. I have 3 tote bags full of diamond paintings. A lot of them are too deep, so there's a couple stacked together. And my premium canvases are they're stacked on my hearth right now because I'm going to be I'm revamping my house and I'm changing a couple of rooms out. So it's a kind of a long-term project. So when I say it's in flux, I mean it's in flux. But I'm going to show you all of the canvases briefly. Yeah, you're not going to get a chance to count, so don't even bother to try. And then you're going to guess how many total diamond painting canvases I have. Now, I will give you some parameters, okay? So, there are more than 200. There are less than 300. So, in the comment section, you just have to put how many total canvases that you think are here. Now, the 2 people that come the closest, and I don't care if you go over or not, doesn't matter. If you're the 2 people closest to the actual number, I will be sending you a gift, and I will show it before I send it so you will know it's coming. I wanted to make sure though that you understand that I'm going to need you to email me if you are the winner, so I can get an address where you want me to send the diamond painting gift, okay? So that is how we're going to work, you guys, just for you guys, because you're so awesome. So again, you're going to put it in this video in the comment section. You will have a total of 7 days. So on next Friday, the next WIP N Chat, I will give you the actual total and let you know who the winners were depending on what you put in the comments today or over the week. And yep, 2 prize winners. And remember, more than 200, less than 300. So somewhere in there is the total. The 2 people that come the closest are going to win. Okay, if there's any questions, you can email me. My email is in the description. You can leave a comment, and I will certainly do my best to answer you. Yeah, so, you know, now if you do win, and I'm going to give you 4 days after announcing who the winners are, you'll have 4 days to contact me to give me an address to ship it to. If you don't, the person next in line is going to be the one that gets the prize. So, all right. Now, if you are not interested in participating, or you couldn't care less, or whatever it is, you're not obligated to make a guess. Okay, this is a fun thing just for you guys, for helping me exceed the goal of 500 subs. Okay, literally just for you guys. So, that is on the horizon. So please let me know. After I show you at the end of the video, I'm going to show you the stash of diamond paintings. Then in the comments, leave me the answer as to how many you think there are. And the 2 closest people are going to win. Any questions, comments, concerns, email or leave in the comments and we will work it out. Okay. So good luck, everyone. I hope that, hope you get really close, and I hope you're one of the winners, and you know, we will just take it and run with it. Okay. Now, next thing that I want to talk to you about, now that we got that housekeeping matter out of the way, is the September event that I'm hosting this year, which is coming up again in September, which is a change of seasons. So any canvas that shows a definitive season. So if you look at the canvas and you can tell what the season is, it's fine. Alternatively, you know, we can talk about a seasonal canvas if you just don't have anything that you can guarantee has, you know, an obvious season. So yeah, we're not going to make it difficult. It's going to be easy. And yes, there will be prizes and giveaways also. So I will be showing what the prizes are. So as winners are selected each week, you will be able to tell me which prize you want. So yes, you will have control over that. I'm going to try this and see how it works. Now, why am I trying it? Oh, hang on, guys. I'm going to make you seasick for just a second. Well, the reason I'm trying that is because I fully feel that you guys are capable of knowing what you would like to have and what you would not like to have. So rather than me choose it for you, I'm going to give you the option of choosing it if your name is selected, which will be on a random name wheel. So yeah, there won't be any work involved. You won't have to guess anything or anything. So if your name is selected, I will be putting out a video just before September begins and saying, okay, here's the prizes. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever we're doing, however many we're doing. And then the names will start being selected at the end of the first week of the event. And then those people will be contacting me and letting me know which ones in the prior video that I'll be showing all the prizes in, which ones would you like? Or which one would you like? Or if you're going to have an accessory, do you have a preference? You know, that kind of thing. So some of it I'm going to just do as resources permit. So, you know, there are some that if we start to run low or something, you know, I'm going to have to just, you know, kind of punt. But I will do the best I can to give you the selection that you choose. Okay. So, yep, that's how that's going to work. So, otherwise, how's everybody doing? How was your week? How's your weekend going? Anybody doing anything really, really fun? How's your weather? Our weather's been cooperative for the most part the last few days after being utterly ridiculous for the longest time. That rain was awful. But anyway, we are through that part for the moment. And so, yeah, like right now, it's about 75 degrees and it was beautiful today. Just really nice. So what was your weather like? Also, the video should be going up close to when this goes up. I got some wonderful friend mail from Donna at Diamond Art Joy. She gave me some beautiful, wonderful things I just cannot wait to do. So extra thank yous, Donna, for that. It really boosted my spirits after the last several crummy months that I've had. Yeah, it just really it made me smile, and I was really happy. And it was so thoughtful and so considerate, and I just want to thank you, my Sagittarius sister, for doing that. I'm so happy that there are so many awesome people that are part of this community. Okay, we have a couple of, you know, antithesis kind of people that are not as wonderful and friendly, but for the most part, you know, it's a great group. And I love the DP Along with Friends group. Everybody is just really very kind, very supportive of each other. You know, we go out of our way to try to make sure that we're being supportive of each other, which is, you know, it's an awesome thing to do. I met a lot of really cool people, and I've been very pleased with how my channel has grown, and I've had wonderful subs. Like, nobody has been really awful. In fact, this entire time, here I am, I finally made more than 500 people subscribing, and I only had 2 trolls that I had to boot, which I think is an amazing percentage. I mean, man, because if I had only had 10% I had to boot, that would have been pretty awesome, and that would have been 50 people. So, you know, the fact that I've only had 2 is just, I just love it. It's just so awesome. And I so enjoy your comments when you guys leave comments. You know, you're all just, you know, you're just another group of friends, and I just am really glad that all of you are here. So yeah, that's happening. Also, some of you had a suggestion a little while back when I was showing my husband Neil's latest canvas. And, you know, you said, have you guys ever thought about doing a collaboration? And, you know, and it was funny because, you know, we hadn't. I mean, all the time we spend diamond painting, and it actually never dawned on us. Mostly, I guess, because our tastes are so different. You know, we do very different types of paintings and themes, and which is fun because, you know, we get some interesting canvases in this house. But you know, we have talked about it, and yes, you guys, thanks to your suggestion, we are going to do a collab. We're going to do Wolf Dreamcatcher from Diamond Art Club. So yeah, we're gonna work on that together, which means he will be joining in on some of the WIP N Chats while we work on that project. So yeah, this is really, it's a different phase for us. It's really new. We have not done this before. So this is kind of a try it and see how it works kind of deal. So, but yeah, we're anxious about it. I think it's going to be fun to give that a try and see how we do with it. So thank you for the suggestion, you guys, because yeah, we're looking forward to trying it and see how it goes. Now, if it blows up in our face, well, okay, we'll go back to doing our own thing and it'll be fine. But hopefully it will be fun. We are planning to start that canvas on May 1st. I'm also going to be doing Laura's Crafty Chef Diamond event in May, which is Celebration. So I'll also be starting another canvas then to do for that event. But yeah, we will be starting our collaboration and working on that one together. So the first WIP N Chat that you see after May 1st should include both of us, unless somebody's sick or can't do it or something. But that's the goal, is that we will both be able to talk to you guys about stuff. So, and let you know how we're doing and how we're feeling about it. If you have questions for us, for either one of us or both of us, you can go ahead and leave them in the comments, and we will spend some time answering them in that first WIP N Chat. So might as well get off to a rip roaring start, don't you think? Yeah, I think so too. So that is going to be no end of fun. Right, honey? Say hi
sure,
to the people.
anytime.
Yeah. See, he can't wait. He's thrilled beyond measure. Anyway, so yeah, so if you have any questions, let us know. We're pretty well an open book. I mean, unless it's something really inappropriate, in which case I'll tell you it's inappropriate. Otherwise, yes, we'll answer it. Not a problem. Let's see. What else? For those of you that are following little Clarissa's progress, she's my new little bearded dragon that I took into the rescue. She is she has some special needs. She was unfortunately she got her head stuck in the egg when she was hatching and couldn't get out, and when it was discovered, her head had swollen up about three sizes more than its normal size. So she had some hydrocephalus. And so she was having seizures, which early on were pretty bad. I mean, flopping around and the whole thing, what would be our equivalent of a grand mal seizure kind of a thing. Now, she mainly just, every once in a while, she will all of a sudden stiffen up, and, she gets unresponsive, and she has to just ride it out. And then when the seizure is over, she comes to, and she seems to do pretty good. She does have a little bit of a tremor in her legs when she walks, but fortunately, though, her head is the right size. And so the only question is, we don't really know how much damage was done and whether it's going to be anything in the long term. I am taking her to the vet. Her appointment is on Monday. So hopefully she will at least get a clean bill of health. When I brought her home, she was 45 grams, and that was 2 weeks ago today. So yeah, so in 14 days, I weighed her this morning. She is now 96 grams. So she is doing amazing. I will take a little short video of her too to put at the end of this, if anybody is interested in just taking a peek at her. And if you're not, that's fine. When you see that starting, you can just end the video. You don't have to worry about it. And for those of you who would like to peek in on her, you'll get just a little short video at the end. But she definitely appears much bigger. She's also longer. She just went through a shed, so it's kind of fun to see, what her coloration is doing, because bearded dragon babies, when they're born, they all have either a brown or a gray sort of, let's call it a hatchling skin. And then they go through a few sheds, and then they kind of have a juvenile skin. And then as they get closer to a year old, they do kind of a final shed before they're fully adult and full grown. And so, but you get a chance to see, you know, what kind of coloring they're probably going to have, because it gets more and more toward that as each shed that happens between being a hatchling and being an adult. So it was fun to kind of see. She's definitely in her juvenile skin now. But yeah, she's also, now the lady told me that she was 6 months, but I was figuring out earlier today, she's actually 5 months. She was born November 26th. So December, January, February, March, April. Yeah, so she's 5 months now. So, or about to be 5 months. Today's the 21st, so in 5 days she'll be 5 months. So, you know, she's coming along really good. She's really making some really good headway, and she's cute as a bug's ear. She's still kind of not sure she wants anybody to touch her or hold her, but she's not aggressive about it. She's more of a flight, not the fight kind of dragon, which is good. Yeah, she's more like, you know, feed me everything in sight, but don't touch me if you do it, that kind of a thing. But coming along very nicely. She's just so cute, and she's really trying to learn how to be a dragon. So, and I've been kind of observing her and sort of watching her and analyzing her, and I think she's going to be mostly okay. I mean, the nice thing is, you know, we provide a steady diet and a steady temperature all year long. So it's not like, you know, she has to be a hunter. She doesn't have to worry about going into the Australian outback trying to figure out, you know, if she isn't very stealthy because of her tremor that's in her hands, or, you know, she does have a slight tremor, you know, slight seizure. She doesn't have to worry about either the prey is going to get away or something is going to become a predator and try to eat her. So, you know, she's just a happy girl in her tank. So, you know, she can live a pretty normal dragon life, even if she doesn't improve, because, you know, she's in a domestic situation and we provide for her. So it's not like, you know, oh my God, she's going to starve to death because she can't hunt. No, there's none of that. So, but it would be nice to know that she's going to be as normal as possible. I'm very happy that her head, you know, evened out to where it's supposed to be. I think that's really important. But I'm still kind of watching her and kind of assessing her. And I had to take Ruby to the vet on Friday, mostly because on Monday she had laid 11 eggs. They were not very great quality, and they were much smaller than she normally would lay. And then she stopped, and that was okay, but then she kind of acted like, you know, she was having trouble getting back to her old self, and I was worried that there might be more in there and she might have gone egg bound, and I didn't want to have what happened to Smolder happen to her. So even though she was supposed to go Monday with Clara and Finian, I said, you know what, I called them and I said, is there any possibility you guys could take just Ruby earlier? Can Dr. Belanger see her? Because, you know, I'm worried that we might have a reproductive health problem going on, and I don't want to risk her. So they said, hang on a second, and then they went and checked with her, and they go, yeah, she can come at 2:30. I said, perfect, we'll be there. So we did, and you could just tell, I mean, Ruby just wasn't herself. She just wasn't interested in, you know, doing anything or dealing with anybody. And normally she's the one who, you know, doesn't want to stay still. She does. That's one of the reasons why it's hard to hang on to her, because she's like, ooh, I'm free, let's go, that kind of a thing. And so, but she just laid on me. I held her most of the time that I was in there. I put her in her carrier to take her to the vet, and then I held her almost the entire time we were there, and she just laid there like a little lump, just resting on me, and that's not like her. So I was really worried about her. Well, fortunately, they did an x-ray, and they said that she's not currently egg-bound, but she is full of eggs, and she needs to get them out of there. So she also, her heart rate was a little bit elevated, so the vet thought she probably was in some pain. So she said, what I'd like to do is, and this is where I always get tense, you guys, because, you know, I'm very protective of them, and I don't like things just done to them, just, you know, routinely. So I said, what is it you want to do? And she said, well, I want to give her some meloxicam for pain. I said, okay. And she said, and then I'd like to give her some oxytocin. Now, oxytocin is the same thing that they use on human women when they are trying to move labor along. Its sole purpose in life is to cause uterine contractions and get things moving when they're stalled. I mean, that's basically what it's 100% of what it's for. Well, okay. I said, well, before we do that, you know, what are the side effects? Because I've seen things go really wrong in farm animals where they've used that, and I just, yeah, I was ready to tell her, you can forget it. But I said, you know, what are the possible side effects? And she said, well, the one we're mostly concerned about is, you know, you can, if she does not have a uterus that's in good shape, and we give her this, even at the mild dose that we would use, it could cause a tear, which would then cause some bleeding. What you would see is you would see bloody discharge, and then you'd have to hurry up and, you know, get help. And I said, okay, well then let's not do that on a Friday, because I don't want you to give her that and then something happen and everybody's gone for the weekend and I'm stuck with a bleeding dragon. I'm like, no, I don't think that's a good idea. And so she's like, okay, well, she goes, yeah, that's fine. She goes, I can just give her, she goes, why don't we do this? I'll give her the meloxicam today to ease the pain, and maybe that'll be enough for her to go, okay, I can get rid of these eggs now. And if it isn't, if she hasn't laid eggs over the weekend, then when you bring the other two in on Monday, just bring her with you. And she's like, is that possible to do? I said, sure. Everybody has a carrier, so I can totally do that. So that's the plan. So I'm giving her today and tomorrow. She asked me to increase her liquid calcium to daily, which is a lot for a non-gravid dragon. But I said, okay. Which, I don't know, Ruby has mixed feelings about. She's not great about taking the whole dose. But I was pretty sure that she did have eggs in there. She's 817 grams, and she's never over 800 grams any other time except when she's mass producing eggs. So I know she's miserable. She's very round. She looks like a pancake with legs. And so she doesn't have them on her own. I guess we're going to go ahead and let her use some oxytocin, a mild dose, on Monday, since it's the beginning of the week and everybody should be around the rest of the week. But yeah, I have mixed feelings about it, because I know that there have been, you know, babies saved by giving the mother some oxytocin. But I also understand that there's risk involved. Now, you know, Ruby's only 5, and she's never had an actual gravid pregnancy where she had fertile eggs. She's only had infertiles. So she's never had her uterus stretched beyond capacity. So, you know, and she said when she looked at the x-ray, She said, you know, I can't really tell unless I'm actually looking at it surgically, but she said it didn't look like it had, I didn't see anything that was a concern. It looked like a healthy shape, healthy size, you know. I mean, if I didn't think she could tolerate it, I wouldn't suggest it, which I understood, because she's really good and she wants to help animals. That's why she's there. So I said, okay, doctor, if she was your dragon, would you do it? And without hesitation, she said, yep, I really would, because I think that the sooner that we can, you know, get this underway and get it out of the way, the better for everybody, especially her. I said, okay, so that's the plan, is on Monday we will go forward with that if she hasn't had them on her own. But the reason I have mixed feelings is because, I mean, that's a very scary potential side effect, and I just feel like, you know, uteruses or uteri or whatever the plural is of that, they're there for one purpose. They know what that purpose is and they know how to do it. So if they're not doing it, there's probably some kind of reason that she's not getting the signal right now, and none of us know what it is. So I don't want to think that we might be putting her in some kind of jeopardy by doing it, but I also don't want her sitting there miserable either. I mean, fortunately, what we have in our favor is, as much as it's normally not a good sign, is she's eating beautifully. She's eating all kinds of food. She drank a whole bunch of water today. She took her liquid calcium like a champ, and, you know, she's just, you know, she's really doing well. And usually they stop eating usually 2 to 3 days before they lay eggs, but that also tells me that she's still not getting the message to get them out. So for whatever reason, it's just not happening. So we're gonna see if we can give her a boost and get that done. But I'm worried, you know, I'm a worrier anyway. And when you have one of my dragons in there and you're doing stuff to her, that's really very concerning. So, yeah, it's, you know, it's one of those things. She did bring up again about spaying her. And, you know, that's probably a good idea, and I certainly am not against it. All of my dogs have been spayed and neutered, so it's not an issue. But the issue is, you know, it's a horrendous cost to spay a reptile. Well, it's all a horrendous cost. I mean, she gave her one shot, she took one x-ray, and then she took an ultrasound that she did not charge us for, and she gave us a discount, 50% off on the pain relief, and y'all, the bill was $470, and that's just her. So I'm scared to death of what it's going to cost on Monday when I'm taking Finn and Clara in, but you know, thank God for my tax return, or it wouldn't have been doable even now. So that's where we are. But I'm really hoping, I was kind of hoping that maybe, since she was very relaxed last night because she'd had the pain medicine, so she was kind of, you know, la-di-da, very relaxed, wasn't really, just wanted to kind of lay around. And she did go into her dig box, and I thought, oh, come on, girl, you can do it. But she didn't do anything except go in and out. She didn't lay anything. But, you know, I'm glad she likes the box. I think it's good that she likes to be in it. I did wet down the dirt, so it acts more like, you know, the dirt she would be used to in the wild. And now I'm just hoping that we can coax her into having those on her own so we don't have to give her any medication. Because, yeah, that I'm going to be a nervous wreck until things get moving, and I hope that we don't have to do this every year with her. But, I mean, seriously, it's like $5,000 to do a surgical spay on a dragon, which is insanity. So, And I, basically said, hey, unless you're willing to give me a payment plan or, give me a rotating account for being a rescue, yeah, it's just not in the cards. I cannot possibly come up with that up front. If I could do that, I'd have a new roof, okay? So, she said she would talk to her office manager, but yeah, I'm not holding my breath because, I think what's going to happen is she's going to try to convince her, but I don't see it actually happening. But I appreciated that she tried because, that's a really nice thing to do. And she knows, and she tells me every time I come in, and which is so nice. And she did it again this time, totally unsolicited. And she said, you take such good care of them. And I said, oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. I said, I do, the very best I can, not being a reptile myself, but I try to do, everything that I've read that I know to do. And she said, well, the thing is, when I get a reptile in here, usually they are so bad. I mean, usually they're near death or they wouldn't be here. And it's usually, bad husbandry or neglect or abuse. And so, it's so nice to have someone come in who really puts in the time and the energy and is trying to do right by them. And, and they're flourishing. I mean, you can see, that they're just thriving. And I said, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I am going to talk to her on Monday because I'm trying to get permission to take them into classrooms as part of their science program, to have school children be able to learn about them, meet them. Some of them will get to touch them, in the hopes that, maybe I'll get to the reptile owners of tomorrow. And maybe there will be less neglect and abuse because people don't know and they don't bother to look. So if I could just accomplish that, that would be great. And, kids like to have animals come to the school. And these are docile animals. They're not vicious. They don't, they're not going to be biting anybody, and it will be supervised. Like, they're not going to take them back to their seat. Like, whoever wants to touch them, you come up here while I hold them, and then we'll let you touch them. And then I can make sure that we're using proper, sanitary protocols. Like, you're going to have to hit the hand sanitizer before you touch them. That's for his safety or her safety. And then you're going to have to use hand sanitizer when you are finished touching them and headed back to your seat. And that's for your safety. That way, nobody should have any problem. And that's what, and I will be bringing it with me. So there's none of this, oh my God, the school can't afford sanitizer. No, I will bring it. And what I'll try to do, even though it's going to be the same thing, is I'll try to get 2 different colors so we can color code it. So, come up and take some of the green bottle. That means you're going to see the animal and pet them and whatever. And then on your way back, hit the blue bottle so that you know that they've done both. And that way, it shouldn't be a thing, because, there are people who you just can't explain.
Hygiene.
They're just too panicked about the fact that, they have salmonella in their digestive tract. Well, okay, yeah, it's a normal, natural thing for them to have because of, what they eat in the wild. That's how they digest it. But, guys, we have E. coli in ours. You have to wash your hands. I mean, that's what it boils down to. So, but while I'm there on Monday, I'm going to ask her if she would please give me a letter that they're in, they have a clean bill of health, because that will help me get permission to bring them. So, anyway, that's my goal. And then, during the spring and the early summer, when everybody is out of brumation and the weather is nice, then that's when I can take them around and take them into classrooms and any age group from preschool into high school. And now, obviously, the presentation that I will give when I bring them will be different depending on the age group, and that's fine. I can certainly tailor it to the age group that I'll be talking to. But yeah, I remember when I was a kid, I used to love it when somebody would bring in some kind of an animal, especially an exotic animal, one that not everybody has. You know, I mean, I liked dogs and cats and this kind of thing, but when people brought in great big turtles or birds of prey or, you know, this kind of thing, I always thought that was the coolest thing ever. So yeah, that's what's happening, at least in my mind. That's what it's going to look like. I also think it's just good in general. I mean, the people in the world that are scared of reptiles either have had a bad experience, or they've seen a scary movie, or somebody intentionally scared them, you know, threw a snake at them or something. And that's a horrible thing. They shouldn't be afraid. So I'm hoping that by having them exposed early to understand that, you know what, these are just, you know, more of God's creatures, same as you are. And it's really okay. Like, that nobody's out to get you. They're not going to bite you. It's going to be fine. That maybe we can salvage some of that. On the carriers of my reptiles, I put labels on them that has the reptile's name. So like on two sides of Finn's enclosure, which is his carrier is rectangular, and it opens, the whole top opens. Okay, so on two sides of his, it says Finian with quotations, and then on the other two sides, it says harmless reptile. And I do that on purpose because if, God forbid, we were to get in a car accident or something, or I had to be out of the car and something happened to the car, anything that might occur where I might be separated from them for some reason, I don't want people whacking them over the head trying to kill them thinking they're dangerous. You know, I purposely make sure that they're labeled so that, you know, and same thing, Merlin's carrier says Merlin on two sides and harmless reptile on the others. Ruby, same thing. Clara's will be the same thing, because, you know, you just can't be too careful. And, you know, that's just in case, like I said, in case I'm separated from them, or if, God forbid, we were in an accident and couldn't speak. You know, they could read that, oh, okay, these are not poisonous, they're not going to hurt us, they're not scary. You know, we can call animal control and say, hey, come pick them up, and they can hang on to them until such time as we're able to pick them up. So again, it's just something that I do for their safety. So it's the same thing that you would do if you send your kid to school and they have, you know, severe asthma. You probably have a medical alert bracelet on them saying severe asthma, right? So that if for some reason something happened and they had an attack and you weren't there, somebody could get appropriate help. And that's, you know, that's the same thing. But I think part of keeping, you know, the population from freaking out over reptiles is early exposure. If you realize that they're just creatures too, you know, as a young child, then when you see them in a pet store, or you see them out in the wild, or, you know, you see somebody carrying one, you know, maybe you smile before you freak out, right? Maybe that's not your first reaction, which would be a wonderful thing, because they're amazing creatures and they deserve people to consider them as such, and not to be so scared of them that all they can think to do is beat them up, right? So that's my goal for taking them into schools, but it's hard to get permission to do it. I mean, there's so many factors, and, you know, a lot of it depends on the teacher. How comfortable are they with having animals in their classroom that they may not have much exposure to. Like, you know, there are just a lot of things that have to fall into place. But it will definitely help me if I can get a clean bill of health from her so that I can go in and see the kids and try to give them a different idea of reptiles rather than the one that they might already have or gained through some inappropriate or unfortunate circumstance. So yeah, that's what I'm planning to do. And like I said, there are a couple that they can touch and a couple that they can't, and that's going to depend a little bit on how Ruby is feeling when she's finished with the whole egg thing, and whether or not Clara ever gets comfortable with human touch. Now, they can absolutely touch Finian. They can absolutely touch Merlin. Both of them would be fine with it. It's just, you know, the boys are fine. It's the girls that are the wild cards. So, you know, we'll see. And I think that's okay. As long as they can touch two, if they can't touch the other two and they can just look at them, I think that's okay. So, yeah. So cross your fingers that that happens. That's a goal. But yes, first we got to make sure everybody's happy and healthy, and you know, and it's okay to do that, because I've had a lot of people say, "Oh, you need to take him to the hospitals," you know, and I considered children's hospitals. I did. And they said, "Oh, you need to take him to the VA." I considered that too, but here's the thing. I don't want to take them to an environment that's going to be stressful or hard for them either. So, you know, I don't want to have them somewhere where somebody's going to accidentally hold them too hard or squeeze them too hard, or, you know, just not listen and not do, you know, not hold them the way that they're being told to hold them. So, you know, as much as I hate to say it, because really it would be great to take them to Children's Hospital, and we have a big one in LA, because, you know, a lot of kids have really severe allergies to some animals, especially cats, but sometimes dogs too, and they can't see the therapy animals that come in normally. So, but it's hard to be allergic to a reptile. Almost nobody is. So, you know, yes, they're a good one to take because people who can't see the other animals could see them. So, you know, I had thoughts of doing that. But, you know, my old vet that I had kind of changed that, because, you know, he said, yeah, but the thing is, so many things can happen, and you don't want something terrible to happen to your animals. And so you might want to think about that before you do that. Well, by the time he was finished talking, he had essentially talked me out of it. So, like, okay. But there are still times, I mean, especially because, you know, like I said, I take Finn with me all the time because he loves to people watch, and he can be trusted to behave himself. And so he gets to go out with me more than any of the others. Okay, so we'll often be out someplace, and I'll hear a little person go, "What is that?" And I say, "Oh, you know, this is a bearded dragon. Can I pet him?" "Okay, but you have to be very gentle. Let me see your hands. Okay, use that hand sanitizer up there. Okay, got it? Okay, good. Come on over." And then, you know, I hold them and I let them touch them. However, sometimes it doesn't go over well with their parents. So I kind of have to learn to say, you know, "Where's your mom or dad?" And then have them, you know, make sure it's okay with them, because, you know, I don't want there to be some kind of a problem or have them think I'm trying to give a venomous animal to their kid, or, you know, any of that. Nobody needs that when you're standing in line trying to take care of business, right? So, you know, that's kind of, and sometimes, you know, the parents are freaked out. They don't know. And I love it when the kids go, "Touch him, Mom. I touched him." You know, the kid's like 5 and the mom's like, "No, that's okay, honey. I don't need to touch him." "Come on, Mom, touch him." Meanwhile, Mom and Dad or Dad are freaking out. That's always interesting. But, I try to be very respectful of the fact this is their kid and, their regulations, just like this is my animal and my regulations. So if they really don't want him to have anything to do with him, okay, that's fine. I never forced him on anybody because that would really be inappropriate. So, and I did get an opportunity to, I saw a veteran who was in a wheelchair. He was in line at the pharmacy one time when Finian and I got in line, and we were waiting to talk to the pharmacy technician. And while we were waiting there, because I don't know, there was some problem with whoever was ahead of us, and they were having a discussion with the pharmacist. But so while we were sitting there in line, like I saw him, and I saw him keep glancing at him, and he finally got up enough nerve to say, "What is that?" Or they'll say, "Is that an iguana?" I'm like, nope, that's not an iguana. That's a bearded dragon. And, and they talk about him a little bit. And then, and I could tell he really wanted to pet him, but he just was not comfortable asking me. So I finally said to him, "Would you like to hold him?" "Well, yes, I would." "Okay." And, I kind of nodded at his caregiver. I didn't know if it was his wife or nurse or what, but she was pushing the chair he was in. So I kind of looked at her like, "Is this okay?" And she nodded her head. So I showed him how to hold him, and I gave him to him, and he was so happy. And the lady goes, "Thank you, that really made his day." I'm like, "Oh yeah, no problem." I said he was really polite about it. He was genuine about his interest. Not like the haters where sometimes you'll go in somewhere and they go, "You can't have that in here." Well, clearly I can because I'm standing right in front of you, but okay. I don't take him places where, like, I don't take him into restaurants unless they have patio seating and I know that they allow pets. Otherwise, I don't take him into places like that. But in any place that I go, with him, I hold him. He's on me. So he's not like interacting with anybody or, on their floors or anything like that. So I try to be conscientious of, what I'm doing. So when people are nasty, I'm like, "Well, you hater. You're just a hater. That's all it is. Say it like it is. It has nothing to do with rules. You don't have any rules, because if this were a service animal, you would be letting him in, and you know it. So, yeah, don't give me that shit." And I could get him, emotional support animal credentials right now, but ESAs don't have the same protection under the law as service dogs. So, you have to be careful. And I'm not out trying to cause a problem. I'm just trying to get my stuff done. And I just happen to have a dragon with me. What do you want me to tell you? Sometimes, because I'm in my electric scooter, sometimes people don't even notice him. Because when I'm sitting there and he's sitting on my chest, he kind of blends in most of the time. So unless they realize that that's not a necklace, that's a leash, and that I've got a harness and I've got something in the harness, oftentimes they don't realize it. Sometimes they'll be standing right next to me and they'll go, "Oh my God, what is that?" So, or my personal favorite, "Is that real?" Like, people go around wearing dead lizards on their clothes. Really? Of course it's real. And I just laugh because every time he hears the word real, he looks at them with his side eye, which I just think is so much fun. I'm telling you, he does it on purpose. It's hilarious. And they go, "Oh my gosh, it moved." I said, yeah, he is perfectly capable of moving. Yes, that's true. And then we have to have the conversation. "Oh my God, what is it?" And, sometimes it gets kind of cumbersome and old having to answer, these questions. But at the same time, I think of it as a teachable moment. And I realize that, they maybe don't see them that often or haven't seen them ever. And so, people have curiosity, and that's okay. As long as they're not rude. It's the rude ones that piss me off. And don't get me wrong, I am capable of being rude right back. But I don't usually want to. So, and if I can disengage easily and quickly, I will do that instead, and then I just leave and it's fine. But if I'm trapped someplace and I can't get out, then that's when we have an issue. But, people just leave us alone. We do fine. We go in where we have to go. We get done what we have to get done. We leave. It's not, it's not any harder than that. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting. But I would say 80% of the time, we have good experiences. And I think, for Finn's sake, it's a good thing, because the more that he has exposure to life, the more comfortable he is. So, like, if I were to be out someplace and a car backfired and I had Merlin with me or Ruby, oh, they would try to take off running and probably hang themselves on their harnesses, right? Finn would not, because he's had that experience. He knows that cars will, occasionally make that loud sound, and he's got it figured out. So I don't have to be concerned. So, which is nice. So, yeah, it's beneficial for your reptiles to have experiences. Now, you don't want them in the midst of chaos, and you definitely don't want them someplace where they're going to get hurt, ever. But, if they can ride on your chest or ride on your shoulder, and, you can run in and get something at the grocery store you forgot, or, go into a department store to talk to the manager about something you forgot, or, whatever it is. It's good for them to get out and be able to do that. But don't take them someplace where it's going to cause a fight, or you're going to get a bunch of haters and it's not going to be good. Like, none of that's good. But Finn gets away with a lot. And I found out that when I have him on his harness, and, extra bonus, if I have his sweater on, whether it's his Eeyore sweater or his Christmas sweater or his collegiate looking sweater, whatever it is, where, people tend to, even if they would have been haters, will put up with it because he looks so cute. And they think, oh my gosh, it becomes, he becomes kind of a novelty, but that's okay. It keeps them from being afraid and telling the manager and having the manager chase me out. So, it's all good. So, yeah, just, don't take them places where they shouldn't go. I don't take him into the doctor's office, obviously. I don't take him into restaurants unless there's patio seating. There are just some places you just don't go. So, yeah, but other than that, it's a great thing for Finn when he gets to get out, because, they spend all day, every day in a glass box. Really, we put these animals in a tank, then they have to rely on us for everything, and they never leave it. And it's just, it doesn't do enough to meet the social emotional needs of these creatures, and they do have some. So it's important that you get them outside, especially since, it's important for them to get natural sunlight at least a couple of hours, a couple of times a week. That's better than any UVB bulb that you can buy on the market. Just get them outside and watch them flourish out there. And again, with appropriate precautions. You need to have some kind of a harness system. You need to have some kind of a leash system so that they suddenly have to run, or they get scared, or an owl gets down and tries to grab them. You have a hold of them and you've got them tethered so nothing happens to them. But, once you do that, yeah, take them outside. Let them experience a little bit of the world, I notice a big change in my dragons when they get outside. When the weather is really bad and we don't get to go out much, yeah, they do get a little cabin fever. So it's important that if you can get them out, that you get them out. It's important that they get to free roam. So, whether that means in a room, on a bed, in a living room, whatever it means, someplace where they're not going to get hurt or lost, then that's what it means. I think, you know, all living things need to get outside once in a while. And when the weather is nice, that's a good time to do it. So yeah, life with a dragon. But yeah, the payoff is it's so awesome. I mean, they're such wonderful little beings. I mean, they just really are. They're so much fun. And they're very smart and they're very affectionate. And they all have very distinct individual personalities. I know a lot of people don't believe the lizard can have that, but I'm telling you, I've been around them for years. I've had lots of them in and out of the house, and I'm here to tell you, they're very individual, which is, you know, adds to the fun because, you know, it's like any other family member, you know. You pretty well know, like, oh, yeah, he's making that kind of a gesture. Oh, no, she's not going to like that. I mean, you can just see it coming. And sure enough, you know, that's what tends to go on. So yes, I mean, I think we're very lucky that we get to share the world with them. And I wish that we treated them like the exceptional beings that they are. And, that we could give them the respect that they automatically give to us. You know, they're just curious, and they want to be in the world with us. They're not mean to us. They don't try to make our life harder. You know, they don't do any of that. They just want to be like, you know, who are you? And do you have any worms? Because I'd like to eat something. And I'd be happy to hang out and watch TV with you if you want, you know. Like, that's what they do. So, yeah, you'd think we would learn that we're lucky to have them and instead of treating them inappropriately. And the thing is, by the time people do any research after they get them home and realize, oh, there are things we didn't know, and then they try to find things out, okay, well, by then, they're already overwhelmed, and they find out they've been screwing it up for 6 months, and now the dragon's got problems and needs to be rehomed because they're in over their head. So it just sucks for everybody. I wish people would research first, then take them home, instead of the other way around. But, you know, in a perfect world. So, yeah. My dad was really fascinated. He didn't know what a bearded dragon was till I got one. And so... but he just loved him. I mean, he absolutely loved him. And Finn loved him right back. Like, it was a match made in heaven, is what it was. So, that was a lot of fun getting to see him experience it and get to know Finian. And Finn loved him. He loved his voice. Because my dad had a nice, deep baritone voice. And, yeah, Finn really enjoyed it. So, they were good friends. And, yeah. So, that's the Bearded Dragon sermon for today. How are we doing on time? Let's see here. About hour and 8 minutes. Well, look at that, would you? All right, guys. Well, I think I've kept you long enough. So, now I'm going to show you the stash of diamond paintings. So get ready with your guesses, okay? And then we'll take a brief look at Clara. So this is the first, let me pull you back a little bit. This is the first tote bag right here. Okay, that's the first one. Now, I'm gonna hide you for just a second. Okay. The light is terrible over here, so I apologize in advance. There's the second one. There's the third one. And here are the premium canvases. So there you go, you guys. So yes, so everybody in the comments, put your guess in. Let me know how many total diamond painting canvases you think I have. And yes, they have been counted and recounted. So we know how many there are. And we will go on to the next one. All right, you guys. Remember, always be a dragon. Spread your wings. Defend those you love. Have fiery passion. Stay strong, slay your fears, and always fly high, rise up, and soar. All right, everyone. Everyone that's going, have a great day. Thanks for joining me. And I'm looking forward to seeing what your guesses are. Remember, more than 200, less than 300. All right, and for those of you that want the update on Claire, stay tuned. And for the rest of you, have a great rest of your day. And thanks again for joining me. Bye-bye. Hello, Miss Clara. Hello, my love. Hi, beautiful girl. Yes, Miss 96 pounds. Remember how skinny her arms and legs were? Well, no longer. Now she's beautiful. Yes. You can see that her tail still has some shedding to do, but her back is already finished. So, yep, she's going to be a beautiful red. Look at those tiger bars. Those are Dunner bars. So somewhere in her background, she has that in her genetics. So, yeah, and she is. She's so pretty. Yeah. Okay, sweetheart. You want some more? You want some more, Mies? I know. It's your dinner time, so we can give you some more. Not like she didn't eat all the ones she had. She had, I mean, a full bowl of waxworms and mealworms. And she had a full bowl of greens, too. And she ate the whole thing. Look, look. Empty. That's why you're 96 grams right there. It's why, my love. Yeah, that's the reason. It is, it is, it is. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's see what we can do. About finding a few juicy morsels. Okay. Here you go, sweetheart. Okay. Somebody's excited. I mean, guys, she eats like this all day, every day. But, you know, you can see, like, if you didn't know she had seizures, you might not suspect at all. Like, she's really doing... Did you want this one? Okay. Hi. And even the tremor that she has is, you know, it's improving a lot. She still has it. That might not change, but she absolutely is doing phenomenal. You know, you can see that her aim is really good. She's very coordinated, so that's not an issue. She can get them out of her bowl. Yeah. And she's a little klutzy once in a while. That's okay. It's an equilibrium thing, so, you know, that's to be expected. But if you put them in her bowl, see, she's dead accurate. Like, there's no question about it. She definitely can do it. Here, sweetheart. So, if you can get them to the bowl, most of the time you can't because she eats them before you can get them in there. So, but yeah, it's not uncommon for her to have 20 or 25 of these worms, you know, per meal. So, yeah, I think she's going to be, when all is said and done, close to Merlin's size, which is crazy. I mean, he's over 700 grams. So for her to have started so little and to get so big, you know, that's saying something. But I think, you know, now it's the weekend. So today we have, in addition to her calcium, we have her multivitamin and her probiotic on her worms. So, yeah, she's getting all the extra yummy goodness that we hope is helping her. You know, she's got nice bones and muscles. There's no metabolic bone disease noted anyplace. So that's wonderful because that's one that's very common. And because she does still stargaze, I was a little bit worried she might have adenovirus, which is not a good thing, and it's very contagious from dragon to dragon. So I had to ask when I first checked on her if, you know, she'd been tested, because I thought, you know, I can't bring her into the rescue if she has a communicable disease that's going to take out some of my others. But she had been tested twice, once when she was born and once, I think she said she was around 3 months maybe, and she was negative. So that was fine. That's all we needed to know. It's in your dish, baby girl. It's in your dish, honey. Oops, right here. Get him. Good job, sweetheart. So, yep, she's coming along beautifully. She is a gorgeous little she dragon. And I hope that she's going to be able to continue to just amaze us and make us so happy, because she does. She's just really precious, and we love her. She does wondrous things, and she's getting better about being picked up. Still not her favorite thing, but, you know. But you can see on the top of her head when she chews, her little fat pads kind of go in and out. And that shows you that there's no hydrocephalus now. Like, it's, you know, there's no pressure in her head at all. So it's just what it should be. So yes, so she's a cutie patootie. Yes, she is. So hopefully all will be right with the world when she goes in to see the vet. She'll get to meet the doctor for the first time on Monday. And hopefully, you know, she's going to be a happy girl. And we will get her all the way to adulthood. I'm really hoping that some of this might resolve on its own and it's not part of her future. But if it is, then we'll cope with it. There are certainly worse things. I mean, the fact that she has 2 arms and 2 legs and 1 head that's now the right size is wonderful. I think we can work with that. Pretty much everything else will just be, you know, do we see anything else that's, you know, going to limit her life? And I don't think so. I think she's due for some greatness. Her eyes are a little bit small, but, you know, she sees fine with them. I will say she sees better at a distance than she does up close. So, you know, she's a little nearsighted, but that's also partly her age. So, yeah. But as you can see, she has no problem whatsoever eating everything in sight. So yes, she's really just coming along fine. Right here, baby. Good girl. Good job. But yep, that's what's happening with Miss Clara. She's just beautiful. All right, sweetheart, I gave you one more. Here, sweetie. Whoops, it's right here in the dish. Good job, baby. So, yep, she's becoming a sweet little girl, and we really are enjoying her. And I think she's going to be destined for greatness with her little cute little red round self. I do, Miss Clara. I do. You're a good girl. Yep, you're a good girl. Hi, sweetheart. You gonna let me pet you? Not if you can help it. Okay. I held her earlier because I had to weigh her, and I don't think she appreciated it, but that's okay. We're still working on it, but you can see that she's not aggressive. Like, she doesn't try to bite anybody or do anything like that. So, yep. She's a beauty. All right, Miss Clara. Clarissa. Are you ignoring me, and then that way that's why I go away, because you ignore me? Is that why? Silly one. Clara. Hi, baby. All right, enjoy your basking. Digest all that food. Okay, my little sweet girl. But yep, she is rounding out just fine. So, all right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed seeing this little update on her. As you can see, she's really beautiful, and she's becoming quite the dragon. She really is. I'm expecting that she's going to be doing just fine, one way or another. All right, guys. We will talk to you in the next one. Bye-bye.